welcome, one and all, to the AEW Unrestricted podcast. It is the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling, where the best wrestle. And you are listening to me, referee Aubrey Edwards, along with my co-host and best friend, Will Washington. How you doing, Will?
I'm doing great. It is a great time in professional wrestling, and it's a great time in AEW. And I'm just excited to be here.
I mean,
Unrestricted
we're in the middle
is like
of
one of my
Owen.
favorite parts of the week. Yeah,
we're in the middle of the Owen. It's friggin' like, if there's anything AEW knows how to do well, it's tournaments. And I'm very excited to see kind of what the picture for All In is going to look like as we get closer. And for those of you that haven't gotten your tickets yet, All In will be happening in Texas, July 12th, I think.
Yes.
Global Life Field, AEWTix.com. But before we get to our guest today, I did want to give a shout out to our presenting sponsor, Upper Deck. You can collect your favorite wrestlers and the 2025 Upper Deck AEW. Start your trading card collection today. Unwrap autograph memorabilia and premium tech inserts. Visit upperdeck.com to learn more. Speaking of which, they sent us this awesome new pack. It's even got the new AEW logo. That's how new this shit is.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
The 2025 AEW packs.
2025 with former champion Swerve Strickland front and center. Very excited.
Well, you want to talk about front and center. So opening up this pack here.
Yeah.
And
sorry,
the first card I get.
Yes.
Is
look at that young girl.
Is referee Aubrey Edwards.
So young, so naive.
When did you take this?
I think that was actually like my first promo photos in there was like a phase where I took a pair before the pandemic and then I took ones like right after once we were back on the road. I think those were like January 2024. So not actually that long ago. Fun story. I actually took those ones and then 2 months later our logo changed. So you can see on the shirt that the logo is completely different than it is now. Completely different.
I figured that was how you knew.
That's how you can check the timeline to see okay, what do the referee shirts look like? It's an old pay-per-view if we're just wearing the AEW shirts. It's a new pay-per-view if we've got the custom shirts.
Yep. And looking at trios. Oh, look at this. We've got the Learning Tree.
Ooh, the Learning Tree. Love it. They had all of them had great matches at Dynasty. You had Large William and Brian Keith competing for the AEW Tag Championship, and then Jericho, due to my decision, eventually lost the ROH World Championship to Bandito. So that was a fun pay-per-view for one and all. There's actually a lot of really cool ones in here. I got Mark Sterling, also collector. So that'll be fun. I'll have to give him that one at work. Who else we got in here? I got an Excalibur. Oh, this is exciting. Look at that. Aw. He looks so cute.
That's so fun.
I also, man, I love it. And I love all the little facts on the back of these cards, like where they were born. Excalibur, born in Detroit, Michigan, if you didn't know. Who else we got? Ooh, I got this fun one with Thunder Rosa that's like a playing card. For those of you listening to this podcast, this is literally like a 2 of spades, but it's got Thunder Rosa, like I'm playing a poker hand. And on the back, Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing.
Go figure, poker themed. Double or Nothing coming to Glendale, Arizona soon. But we've got a handful of awesome cards here. There was another one I grabbed I wanted to show specifically, but we've got a Shibata card, which I'm very, very excited because this is relevant to our guest today. And who is our guest today, Will?
And our guest today, I want to talk a little bit about this one because one of my favorite things I get to do here on AEW Unrestricted is whenever I get to do like a follow-up from my previous life as a podcaster, that's always fun. And you know where I'm going with this. But we are joined by Kevin Knight, who is now All Elite. Kevin, it's great to talk with you again.
Right. On several occasions. It's great to be here and talk with you a couple more times.
Yep. So, of course, back in the day when I was the host of Grapsody, you came on Grapsody graciously, and we had talked so much about your career and all of that. And I was just excited for an audience to get to know you that wasn't quite familiar with New Japan and all of those things. But now still working with New Japan, made more of a splash in New Japan than you had at that time. And on top of that, you are officially all elite, and you have taken AEW by storm. You've gotten to tear it up with Will Ospreay. How does it feel, man? How does it feel right now to be where you are right now?
Man, it honestly feels surreal. It feels surreal. It feels like things just magically happen. Like the universe has conspired for me to come in on a Saturday and team up with Will on the Wednesday, and then all of a sudden against them at a pay per view that Sunday. So it's like it all was written. You know what I mean?
It was so good because I remember just peek behind the curtain. You were there in Fresno, and I literally walk up to you. I'm like, "Hey, do you work here yet?" You're like, "I don't know. We're still talking."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay,
So
well, let me know when it happens." And I'm just so excited it finally friggin' happened. It's like you're such a good fit for our locker room. Not only are you just like such a hardworking guy, you have a great wrestling style, you have this great charisma, you're a wonderful person, which I always like having like
that
happy,
means a
nice
lot.
people backstage because like you need those good locker room guys. So it's
Of
pretty
course,
great.
you're like yourself. You know, you read my first few matches there, so I always felt comfortable.
Oh
You were
yeah.
in there
Oh
with us at Dynasty, so you know what I
hell
mean. It
yeah.
was dope. It was dope.
So it was funny, like little peek behind the curtain again for Dynasty. I had
I
no
already know
idea
where
I
you're
had your
going.
match until about 10 minutes beforehand.
Oh, and you're
It
just
was
running through the hall. I'm watching you run through the
yeah.
hall. You're like, I've got first match, and you're like,
I needed to
just
fix my
sprinting.
lipstick, man.
Yeah.
Like I sat in the makeup chair. I was like, I need you to fix my lipstick. I have first match. And Salem looks at the clock and goes, "That's in 10 minutes." I'm like, "Yeah, no, we got to go." Because it was supposed to be Stefan, but he was doing the Max Caster match during the pre-show. And I'm like, "Oh no, I got Kevin." And it's like, Will Ospreay I've worked with plenty of times, and now I've worked with plenty of times. So this is kind of one of those like when you're thrown a match last minute, it's the best case scenario where you have two people who both of their move sets, they're going to work really well together. They're going to have great chemistry, and it just sort of works. And what a hell of a way to start a pay-per-view, right?
Right, right. It was electric in there to say the least.
Very, very. What was your response like when you found out that you were going to be wrestling Osprey on pay-per-view? Literally like
I
2
thought
weeks after you joined
I
AEW.
I
1
thought it was
week.
a rib. I thought it was a rib, to be honest. I was like, why you guys? I know I'm the new guy here. You know what I mean? Why am I? If you guys want to, I'm a very playful guy. You guys don't have to joke with me in that type of way. So I didn't believe it until I saw the graphic during the Dynamite. I was like, oh, okay, this is actually real. They're not joking with me. So it was a so I was experiencing it at the same time the audience was. So it was dope.
And of course, this came a week after you having your all elite match with Jay White on Collision. So again, it was just like a crazy surreal week. It was like you really got the audience to understand who you are and what you bring to the table almost immediately. And then it turned out Jay White suffered an unfortunate injury in that match, and then Jay White then goes on to he is then removed from the Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournament, and you're in. And it's like, yeah, it's crazy. What was that first night like that the All Elite graphic was officially official?
I remember the moment right before my music hit. Tony came and said, "Hey, we're gonna announce your all elite right after the match." I was like, "What? Really?" Because he never really discussed that with me, so I was very much shocked as well. So I was like, "Well, we're here now." So it was a very much surreal moment just when I saw the response online. It was like, "Oh man!" Like the whole time I've been wrestling, All Elite has been a thing as well. So I remember seeing Aubrey get her graphic. I remember you getting your graphic, Will. So to see me being tweeted out by Tony Khan, it was like a very surreal moment. I was like, wow, I really am amongst greatness.
Oh, checks in the mail, buddy.
Right, right.
Well,
So
let's talk about that though, because
yeah.
you have a fairly young wrestling career, and the fact that you were a young lion in New Japan all of 5 years ago, and
Right.
thinking about the fact that AEW in my head is still a newer company, but
Mhm.
Yes,
you have been tearing it up these last 5 years, and yeah, as you mentioned, All Elite Wrestling has been a part of that the entire time.
the entire time. I remember the
Damn.
first All In or Double or Nothing was like the same weekend as my first ever match, or somewhere along those lines. So it's like as AEW was growing, I was growing as well. So it's almost like
Holy
we have
crap.
parallel careers. It's crazy.
It's absolutely wild. I need to tell a story because this is probably my favorite. He's laughing because
I
he knows the
already know.
exact one. So you may not know this, but Kevin is originally a trainee of the Pacific Northwest. And you went to Buddy Wayne Academy, right?
The Blade Academy, yes, ma'am.
Right, right. So I get a message on like Facebook or something, someone saying like, "Hey, we have this student. He's booked at one of the shows you are. Can you give him a ride?" And I went, "Sure." Turns out he lives like 2 blocks from me. So I just like
Literally.
picked him up and he was booked as a ref at a show I was doing that day. So we drive up and it's cool, whatever. And then he ends up reffing my husband's match. And there's this line, and I don't know if you've seen how tall Kevin is, but like, and also my husband's pretty short. So he comes out and he cuts his like promo on this heel, whatever. And he's just like, "Can we get a smaller referee?" Because Kevin is just towering over him.
And I
And it
made
was
sure to
so
get an
cool.
extra small medium shirt so to have the muscles popping and everything.
Right? Yeah, the most jacked person in the ring was a referee. It was pretty dope. But yeah, it's been super great seeing like literally picking you up in my little Honda Civic. And then now like I'm reffing your matches at pay-per-view. Like this is insane and in such a short amount of time. So
For
what
sure.
has that sort of been like going from, whatever it was your life was before to now you're a part of the AEW roster, but also still a part of the New Japan roster?
Man, the word that keeps coming to my mind is just it's surreal. I feel like I
Mhm.
worked for this. I manifested it. That's what the kids say nowadays. I put in the work. I wanted to be a professional wrestler, so boom, I became a professional wrestler. I was an IT guy before this, kind of like you were, Brittany. And
Yup.
And me, like this is look at
Yeah,
us.
what's up? What's up?
right, so we all come from the IT background, and man, just sitting at a desk all day was like I felt like I was disintegrating. I was like 21 years old, and I was like, man, let
Mhm.
me just do something I always wanted to do. And yeah, professional wrestling is the one thing that I always wanted to do from a young age. So I was like, let me look up. I literally Googled how to become a professional wrestler. Found a couple of schools near my area, and took a couple buses to train, and that's the story of my life. It was like a Clark Kent Superman type of lifestyle I was living. I had the suit on by day. As soon as it comes off, I got to put the training boots on. So it was dope. It's been a dope journey so far.
That's actually a lot of wrestlers, and that actually always blows my mind when I'm seeing wrestlers kind of in their developmental phase uh, and talking about their shoot jobs and whatever it is. And it is like a Clark Kent thing. It is like by day I am
Yeah,
uh, I'm doing whatever this job that doesn't mean all that much to me. I'm doing what that is,
yeah.
but by night I am tearing it up and entertaining crowds and having them chant my name. Like it is such a contrast. And then you have to explain.
Very
And then
much
like when
so. My
people at work are like, "Hey, what are you off to go do?" And you're like, "I can't even."
Or when you come back to work and you
yeah,
have a black eye and you're like, "I didn't get in a fight, I swear."
I just painted it on. I thought I'd throw extra little flavor on for the outfit today. I thought it matched the shoes, so that's all.
Well, let's talk about arriving at the dojo and what that ended up being like.
Yeah, the people that I train with at the Buddy Wayne Academy, Aubrey, you may know them, Cody Chun and Guillermo Roses.
Hell yeah.
About,
C4.
they told me, C4, shout out to them. They told me about New Japan. They said they just like athletes. They'll turn an athlete into a wrestler or whatever. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Where do I sign up? So I went online, did the whole process. I had never watched New Japan ever before, and
Jesus.
so I did the tryout. And yeah, we did the squats, the push-ups, and it was a crazy experience just seeing the process that they put everybody through. And just within that, you learn so much. I didn't know who Shibata was. I didn't know who Rocky Romero was. I was just like, man, I'm just here to try to get a job. So I eventually got a call back. Rocky Romero came up to me and got my information, and we did another week tryout. And yeah, Shibata tried to break me, tried to kill me with 1,000 squats, 1,000 push-ups, yelling your ass off at the top of your lungs. So, and I had no idea what I was signing myself up for because I never knew what a young lion was. But eventually I got in there, learned the system from Clark Connors. Shout out to him. Alex Coughlin and Gabe Kidd, and those three like really groomed me to understand what the New Japan lifestyle is like. So it was a learning experience for sure. A big transition from the football and IT world to pro wrestling.
That's pretty much an understatement. And I have so many more questions about New Japan, your training, and just your time there and whatnot. But we got to take a quick, short break here on AEW Unrestricted. Stay tuned. AEW Unrestricted, Aubrey and Will, we are talking to one of the newest, most exciting signees at All Elite Wrestling, the Jet, Kevin Knight. We've been talking a little bit about sort of learning about New Japan from training and just signing up and then turning out getting his ass kicked by Shibata, which, makes sense in hindsight. So
Right.
what's it like coming to work now and having like Shibata and Rocky Romero be your coworkers?
It's like they seen me grown up right in front of their eyes,
Mm.
because I came in not knowing anything about wrestling, the New Japan lifestyle, and everything. Now that I've done a couple of tours, I've won a few championships, and Shibata is literally seeing his teachings on national television now, and he still gives me critiques like maybe a little bit more this,
Good.
maybe don't do that. So he still treats me as a student in a way. So it's like I'm still getting reminded of that dojo mindset, so he doesn't forget where I come from, And Rocky Romero is just a great. See how much he's grown too. He's in every office
Oh my
now,
God.
so he's a great
Everywhere.
connect.
Yeah.
Fifth most powerful man
Yeah,
in
fifth most
wrestling.
powerful man in wrestling. So that kind of begs a question because you talked about being mostly unfamiliar with New Japan Pro Wrestling going into the dojo, but it's got to be kind of surreal, being that you've always had an affinity for professional wrestling, but you stepped into an environment you were unfamiliar with, and the New Japan fans really gravitated toward you. They really see you as somebody who is made for the New Japan style, who is made for that environment. How did it feel to have the fan base sort of take to you that way?
Um, it's a very uh, weird situation because I feel the energy that they give to me, but I can't fully understand what they're saying to me. Obviously, because it's a culture difference, it's a language barrier. But whenever they come to the signings that I do out there in Japan, they're always very excited, or they'll literally handwrite a note to me in their broken English of how excited they are for my matches and everything. So it's like I definitely feel the love, I feel the energy, but it's you miss all of those nuances of knowing exactly how they feel. So it's like I know where I stand, but I don't at the same time because they're so different in how they express their affection than American fans. So I'm still just getting used to just how they come across because Japanese people are so shy. Um, so they're very much like if they really really like you, they may not say a word to you at all just because they're scared to talk to you or they don't know what to say or they don't have very good English. So it's like a you always have to break the ice with them all the time. So it's a very interesting experience. I'm learning. So it's dope.
You sort of have to learn how to be charismatic with people that you have like nothing in common with outside of just wrestling, which is something that you never
Yes.
expect to have to do when you join wrestling. But it's like, I think something that every on-screen talent has to figure out at one point or another.
Body language goes a long way. I'm learning that. Body language goes a long way. Broken English, pointing to things, a smile, everything. So it's so cool to just learn a whole different culture.
Well, and it was such almost a sigh of relief. It felt like those fans almost wanted to burn us at the stake, knowing that we took you away from them.
Right.
And they were furious with us, and they were like, "Here it goes. AEW just took Kevin Knight." And then when you announced that I'm not going anywhere. I'm also going to continue on with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was like, oh my God, I got the best of both worlds. Because, obviously, I'm AEW. I want to have Kevin Knight over here, right?
Same. Slightly
But
biased.
yes, but I think it is really cool that you are going to be continuing to work with both promotions. How did that deal come about?
Man, the fifth most powerful man in wrestling made that happen. Rocky Romero.
Ah!
You know,
Rocky at it again.
Shout out to Rocky. He's the middleman. So I just told him, I wanted to keep still doing my Japanese thing, still growing within the company, having those experiences. You know what I mean? Learning a whole different style, but I still wanted to cross over to the American audience as well. I kind of did that before in previous years with a TNA and an MLW, but I was like, I think I'm ready for the live experience, and being able to do both is literally like Hannah Montana, best of both worlds. So I was glad to be able to make that happen.
So I'm kind of curious because you've made appearances at AEW before. You were part of, I think, our first Forbidden Door, and then you'd wrestled a match
I
with AR
was.
Fox for Ring of Honor back in February. 10-minute time limit draw, one of
Yep.
my favorites this year so far.
But Atlanta, yeah. That was
it was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, Fox was over as hell because it was Atlanta. It was like, hell yeah, man! Like, this is gonna be dope.
I got to tell Fox
Right.
about that match. As a matter of fact, yeah, that was. Delivering good news is always like one of my favorite parts of the job. Of getting to be like, hey, okay, so today
you've got this cool thing.
Yeah. Because Fox was like, look, it's Atlanta. I just want to be on the show in any way, shape, or form. And I'm like, well,
he said he
you're
had his
wrestling Kevin Knight
whole
tonight.
squad, his whole family.
Yeah, and then he ends up having a banger of a match, right? Like, dude, wild. Anyway, so like you've had all of these other appearances at AEW before. Was that sort of always the goal, or did it just sort of somehow like come around to that? Because obviously you had a lot of success at New Japan. You were a 2-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Champion, which is, no small feat.
Mm-hmm.
You're, as Will was saying, like, you're
Right.
huge over there. New Japan fans love you. So sort of what was the reasoning to sort of, I don't know, maybe flirt with the other guys a little bit?
The opportunity. To be honest, like, you never say no to a good opportunity, and to be able to have that experience with the American audience with a company like AEW on the first Forbidden Door. I was still a young lion at the time, so it's just seeing it grow, being able to do those pre-match promos, being able to show a little bit more character, being able to have all the nuances within myself that may not cross over to the Japanese audience because they get the translations wrong. No fault to them, but it's just how it naturally is. So it's like, just why would you say no to an opportunity? And when that opportunity is presented, make the most of it.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about the character of who Kevin Knight is, because the AEW is where the best wrestle, and we've seen you be able to hang with the best in the ring. Now, as far as who you are before the bell rings, and really during the match as well, what is it that AEW fans should come to know, or will come to know as time goes on, about who Kevin Knight actually is?
Man, the Jet Beam's great energy. Just having a good time out there in the ring. You can see it in my body language. You can see it in my facial expressions. I like to play to the crowd a lot. I just like to go out there and have fun. I kind of feel like a Shawn Michaels esque Milano Collection AT, if you're familiar with him, just a showman in that aspect. I know AEW's were the best wrestle, but I like to, have a little fun out there. So I feel like that's where I shine, of having the best of both worlds, and just, having that little cocky. I came from a good training. I worked hard. I believe in myself, so I believe, you should have a little bit of cockiness, a little arrogance. I still come off in a good guy type of way. I'm not overly doing it, but I like to show a little bit. Yeah, I know I'm good. So.
Right. I mean, if AEWs were the best wrestler, you kind of have to stand out in a different way from everyone else, because now the playing field is leveled again. So how do you, Kevin Knight, connect with the audience? And I just love sort of how your look and aesthetic has transitioned over time. Like, you've got the big puffy coat, you've got the glasses, and you're just like this big kind of party vibe, but in sort of a way of like, I am actually the party and you're all here to experience it now. And it's like, oh, hell yeah. I love it. This dude, I'm so proud of you. This is great. This is great. All right. More coming up here on AEW Unrestricted.
It's just how I am in real life. It's a quiet confidence.
Right. I love that. Quiet confidence. That's perfect. All right. Quick break here. And then we will be back to talk more with the Jet, Kevin Knight, here on AEW Unrestricted.
AEW Unrestricted. It's Aubrey and Will. We are talking with the Jet, Kevin Knight. Kevin, I got a question for you. So, one of the things that I think most fans who see you for the first time always find themselves coming away with is the height you get on that drop kick.
Yes.
Man.
I have to ask you, you obviously, you talked about coming from an athletic background, but how? Well, how does that come about?
It's a little bit of, the boots give a little boost. It's a little CGI production. I tell the cameraman, get it from the right angle, to make it look, a little bit bigger than what it actually is. We're professional wrestlers are really magicians out there. So, it's a little bit of look this way, I'm gonna do this thing. So it's all a production. We got a full production team back there to making it look a little bit different than everybody else, because everybody does a drop kick, but when I hit a drop kick, when the Jet hits the drop kick, it's you notice it's a little bit, just how you say, just a little extra to it. A lot of work put
It's got
into
a
that.
little.
Shibata-san made me practice that maybe about 20, 30 times before I ever debuted on the show. Alex Coughlin, man, I beat his face up just days before my debut. So just to perfect the
Right.
timing, the height, everything has to be on point.
So what does practicing that look like on a repetitious basis?
Man, you hit it from different angles, different situations. Shibata-san is always thinking of different ways to hit a simple move. When you're a young lion, you have maybe 4 or 5 moves, so you have to make everything impactful. So the guy standing there, Alex standing there with a pad and saying, hit at the right spot, hit at the right spot, and then eventually take the pad away. And yeah, Alex Collin ends up all busted and bruised up just from taking 20 drop
Mm-hmm.
kicks the day before a show. So a lot of in-depth details to get the timing down, to get the before the drop kick happens and after. What's your action before and after? Just to make it a little bit more special.
Yeah, I think that's, you kind of mentioned a little bit in there about the young lion training kind of way of going about things. Like, that's one of the things that I've learned sort of as more of the New Japan guys have kind of come over, and we've had that cross mingling with AEW on multiple occasions. But seeing how you guys are essentially
Mm.
given, like, you only get to wear black trunks and you have like 5 moves and that's it. And like one of them's like a hip toss.
Yes.
And it literally comes down to perfecting the basics before you're allowed to sort of
Yes.
like go on and grow more. And it's almost like a very old school traditional style, I would bet. And how is that
Yes.
different than your other training? Because you trained at Buddy Wayne Academy. I think you also went to the dungeon with TJ and Natty for a little bit. Like, how does sort of
Yep.
the different styles of training sort of play into everything?
Man, it's all the language of professional wrestling. Shibata-san, it's like you said, you basically start off from level 0. It's like a video game character. You come in with no attire, no character, no swag, no nothing. You learn the basics, and then once you get the basics down, you unlock a new move. You earned enough credits, you know what I mean, to earn a drop kick, or you earn uh, a knee pad, you earn a haircut, you know what I mean? So they literally make you earn
You
every
earn a
little thing
haircut. I love
to
that.
develop your character. And it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same with the Bunny Wayne Academy and Natty and TJ. This all teach having that fire, having that passion. Where does that aggression come from? So that's the biggest thing that you learn in all these different places. Professionals wrestling is the same all over the world. So it's just about conveying that emotion.
Well, so one of the things I wanted to ask you was, whenever I've talked to you, in any interviews you've done, your training has always been a big part of your story. Whether we're talking about Buddy Wayne Academy, talking about New Japan Dojo, talking about Natty and TJ. Do you see yourself in the future kind of taking that role yourself that was kind of given to you, like Shibata did with you? Do you ever see yourself kind of paying that forward in the later years of your career?
I actually would love to be a coach, to be some type of agent, just to share exactly what I've learned, because a lot of people come up and ask me, "Hey, what was your training like?" A lot of people want to know what makes the dojo lifestyle different, and I would love to give back to the community in that type of way, and let people know is how my mind works, because we're all artists, so we just have to paint the canvas that we call a match in our own different way with our own signature, and I actually taught my first seminar maybe about a month before I signed with AEW, and it was an amazing experience just to be able to run them through little footwork drills, body control drills, letting them know that you have to use your voice, you have to have some passion in everything that you do. And they really enjoyed the little things that we did focus on, because it makes everything go from good to great, great to excellent. So I feel like that would be a great position for me sometime in the future. I'm in no rush, but I would love to share my knowledge.
It's also really fun to teach seminars because you have to sort of explain the reasoning behind why you do things. You can't just say, "Well, this is why you do it." It's like, "No, well, why do you do it? How do you do it? How does this fit into the bigger picture?" And it sort of gives you a better appreciation for the training that you got and all of the teachers that have sort of put their imprint on you. But also, I think it sort of makes you almost better as a performer because you're remembering why you're doing the things that you're doing and what they
It
play
definitely
into it.
does. Like as you're explaining the things that happen, you're like, oh, why do you do these things? And then you remind yourself, oh, because of this. And then it's like you sometimes you forget a lot of the things you've learned, and when you have to break it down to such basic levels, you're really reteaching yourself. And you're like, dang, I should take my own advice, you know. So teaching is definitely
Right.
learning. It's the best way to learn, in my opinion. So you're definitely right.
Hell yeah.
And let's talk about the AEW landscape because coming into this roster right now, I think, is one of the best times to introduce somebody to the AEW roster, because like we talked about AEW being where the best wrestle, we use that cliche kind of all the time, but it's true. And you know, you could put this roster up against some of the all-time great rosters. When you look at the landscape of All Elite Wrestling, you look at some of the talent that you know, in your years you have not gotten to tie it up with. Who are some of the guys you are most looking forward to in your time with AEW getting in that ring with?
Man, that is a great question, because literally AEW has everybody. It is where the best wrestles. So I feel like there's no wrong place. There's no bad matches you can have. There's no bad showing you can have. I feel like I had a great one already at the first pay per view that I've been in, against the best, in my opinion, in the ring, Ospreay. So I feel like for anybody else from there, you know, I feel like I'll be able to hold my own in the ring, because I proved to myself, I proved to the people backstage that I was able to hang with them, and anybody else is like, you know, whether it's a Hangman Adam Page, whether it's a Moxley, whether it's a Top Flight, whether it's a Swerve, you have to bring a different kind of energy, you know. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
anybody that I bring with, you have to match their energy or above, or get exposed. So nobody in particular, but you know, there definitely is a lot of people to choose from that I haven't even got to touch, even in my New Japan days. So I'm looking forward to any time, anybody on the roster.
It's like the answer is nobody, but also everybody. Like,
Literally, like
it's pretty great,
you could close your eyes and pick whoever, and it's going to be
right? Just
a
throw a
great match.
dart and
So
it's like, okay, this is going to be a dream match. Like, it's going to be awesome. And like as you said, when you were doing the match with Jay White, like even though you guys both have the New Japan background, you hadn't actually wrestled before. So there are so many
yeah,
possibilities that we have not even seen. And I'm looking forward to like the first time you run it with people and then when you run it back with people in tags and singles and all this sort of stuff. Like, dude, you've got a hell of a career ahead of you, and I'm so happy we got a chance to talk to you today.
of course. And you both. I'm sorry, you both have been a part of it in so many different ways.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
Thank
so
you,
it's
man.
dope to grow and see the growth that we've all had. So
It's
happy to see
wild.
it
It's
too.
like, oh, we were little babies and now we're like all grown up and stuff. And this is great. And it's all lovey
Rugrats, all
dovey. I
grown
love wrestling.
up.
oh,
Same here. That's why we're
oh
all
man.
here,
Thank
right?
you so much for being here, man. Yeah, this is such a great interview. Thank you, Kevin Knight. Be sure to follow him on social media. Jet to the number fly with two Y's. AEW Unrestricted is sponsored in part by Upper Deck. collect your favorite wrestlers in the 2024 Upper Deck AEW. Now we've got the 2025. Hell yeah. Start your trading card collection today. Unwrap autographed memorabilia, premium tech inserts. Visit upperdeck.com to learn more. Start getting those trading cards now because Kevin Knight's eventually going to be in there. You know it. You can listen to and follow this podcast, AEW Unrestricted, at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of the cool podcast apps. You can check out the video version on our YouTube channel, AEW Unrestricted. Hit those subscribe buttons so you never miss an episode. And of course, are you an AEW insider? Because if you're not, you could totally get early access to ticket pre-sales, special merchandise offers, and more straight to your inbox. Sign up today at aewtix.com, which is also the site where you get tickets to awesome events where you can see this guy do the highest dropkick I've ever seen. Don't forget AEW Dynamite on TBS Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. and streaming on Max. AEW Collision live Saturdays on TNT, also on Max. ROH streams every Thursday on Honor Club. I'm Aubrey Edwards, along with my co-host Will Washington. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye. Peace.